Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. And as you can see from the title of this video, I will be giving my commentary on the most recent episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Production and, of course, Destiny, his alleged boo on the side, they are definitely helping Martell execute any scenes that he wants to do. I feel like at this point, he is, and this is just my opinion, he's acting very, very, very creepy when it comes to Tisha, and he just totally wants to be a part of her scenes at this point. Destiny is a super fake friend. I am convinced that Love and Marriage Huntsville is now scripted reality. And I'm going to talk more about that once I get to the scene where it's totally giving scripted. And Chris Fletcher, he has a lot of nerve because we're going to get into it all. So before we do, though, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video. Please subscribe to the channel. And everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on the Instagram clip of Martell, Marceau, and Tisha's scene is allowed. Okay, so the episode opens up with Kimmy having lunch at Melody's home. Melody prepared food for the two of them. And during their conversation, Melody thanked Kimmy for attending the Mimosas with Melody event. Melody said it was a long time since there was an event where most of the group could attend, both men and women. And Kimmy let her know, Kimmy reminds me of Sheree Whitfield. Two people on this show do, Kimmy and Destiny. Destiny is Sheree in the sense of you can be let go, brought back, perhaps let go again at some point, brought back like a yo-yo, for the money, just like Sheree on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And the way that Kimmy reminds me of Sheree Whitfield is the bone collecting. And she collects this bone from this person and takes it to the next person. And here is what she is doing in this scene. So, but this is some good information. So Kimmy lets Melody know that she attended Martell's open house. And during the open house, it was revealed by Tisha that Chris Fletcher was involved in Martell and Tisha meeting. That Martell and Chris Fletcher had conversation about the women that attended Chris Fletcher's gym. And Chris Fletcher allegedly suggested that Martell and Tisha connect. Kimmy took that information to Melody. And Melody said, wow, this is my first time hearing this. And Kimmy said, yeah, none of us were feeling it because we thought the Fletchers were your friends. And Melody seemed shocked and a little hurt. Absolutely. And she said, well, even, putting friendship aside, Chris Fletcher was a cheater at some point. And I think that I need to have a sit down with him. So Kimmy did what needed to be done, and Melody is going to handle that, as we all know. Now, some people may say, well, the bone collecting is a bad thing. Not all of the time, though. Not when you're making someone clear that, this person over here, they weren't always your friend. They didn't always do things that were friendly. And that would totally describe Chris Fletcher. Now, if he was a woman, I'd say, Chris, your slip is showing. So because he's a man, I guess I have to say your boxers are showing. But thank you, Kimmy, for relaying that information to Melody. So then we see this very fake scene, one of many scripted scenes between Destiny and Tisha. Now, Destiny is acting, I thought her energy was really weird. I was like, oh, yeah, she's not Tisha's friend because she's acting very bland. And then she told Tisha, yeah, I did my makeup because Tisha complimented her on her eyeliner. She said, yeah, it's just something in my drawer that I thought matched my dress. She said, and I'm trying to look energetic because I'm really tired. I've been doing this and doing that and chasing a 4-year old. And we all know how that 4-year old like to get down. Okay. I watched that TikTok video over on what's happening. I'd have been embarrassed. I would have ended that TikTok live so quick from the please don't KILL me to just the absolute screams. But in any event, and I do be wondering, like, I feel bad for the teachers who have to interact with them Monday through Friday for several hours a day. I would bring me a little flask to the school and I would keep it in my tote bag. Okay. I totally would. But let me focus. So when they sit down, they're like, hey, girl. Hey, girl. Like it's giving fake scripted reality. And I think what's missing here is acting coaches. So, Carlos, you would have to fit in the budget to get everyone some acting coaches if you're going to do this scripted reality. And Tisha, I want to say, stop letting production and the show make you look like a fool. Your husband still does the general contracting. You all have whatever income you make from Black. You don't have to move desperate like you absolutely need the money from this show. And it could be a need that's there for the money from this show, but you don't have to act like it because they need to respect you more. Because I would say, I am not filming with Destiny. She set me up with that field day crap. No, F her. But instead, you're acting like she was not involved in that. And she totally knew that her boy Martell was going to clown. And she allowed it to happen. She is not your friend. So Tisha is all smiles and complimenting her on how she looks. They order their food. Once the food arrives, Martell walks in. And production on LAMH, they love to like grab the walk-in. I feel like the show that really just put their stamp on the walkthrough, walking into the venue is Love and Hip Hop. People like to focus on just the physical fights on the Love and Hip Hop franchise, but the sexiness, the swag of people walking in, especially if they do the slow motion, that's all Love and Hip Hop. But in any event, they show Martell getting out of his vehicle, walking into the restaurant, and he just walks in. Destiny doesn't say anything, doesn't even say to Tisha, you know, um, I'm sorry, Tisha, I hope this was okay. I felt like perhaps this would be a good time for Martell to apologize to you. She didn't even do that. She just sat there and they wanted to see how Tisha was going to react. Martell even says in his confessional, Destiny let me know that she was having lunch with Tisha. So, he felt like he could pop up. Tisha, they are not your friends. Definitely Martell, but Destiny ain't either. Do not be fooled. So Tisha gets up and says, I'm not going to sit here with the enemy without my husband. And so she took that last big bite of her food, and that food must have been good, baby, because she was chewing even as she was getting into her car. This clip is on Instagram, and people were in the comments saying, oh my gosh, not her chewing as she getting in the car. That food must have been good, baby, well seasoned, because she took a big bite, and it was to hold her over until she got to the construction site where Marceau was working. We're going to head there next. But I do have a question for you. What do you think about Martell throwing Destiny under the bus in his confessional when he said that Destiny let him know that she was meeting up with Tisha? Do you think that for the next season, which they are currently filming now, that Tisha has woken up? to Destiny, and that's going to be a part of her storyline, her not appreciating Destiny's antics? Or do you think that their scripted reality of being friends will continue? Excuse me. So Tisha leaves the restaurant and meets up with Marceau where he is working. And she lets him know that she just met up with Destiny, but Martell interrupted it and she got up and left. And Marceau said, "Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Because as your protector, I cannot protect you if you are there with him and I'm not there. I don't want you arguing with a man, and I especially do not want you arguing with Martell." And so I feel like when Tisha asserts herself, I'm always relieved, but Tisha still has that little girl energy. She definitely had it season 1 and season 2, and, it would be annoying, but I also have to remind myself part of it isn't her fault, a huge chunk of it. Wanda is her mom. Wanda is very vocal, very aggressive, very extroverted. And I don't think that she gave Tisha the freedom to express herself and speak up for herself. I think that Wanda was just as controlling of Tisha as Marceau is present day. She controlled her very aggressively as a child, but whoa, whoa, whoa. Nobody else can do you wrong, and I'm going to be your mouthpiece and speak up for you. She never empowered her daughter to speak up for herself. So, fast forward, she marries Marceau, who's beyond traditional. In my opinion, Marceau definitely operates in chauvinism, and he believes that the man makes the decisions. Even like season 1, when they would hang out with Sidaric, and he joked in his confessional saying, um I act old fashioned, but at least I'm from the 80s. Sidaric acts like 1970, and the rumor is he doesn't let his wife vote. I didn't think that joke was funny. I do not believe in that controlling nature. And I too grew up in a household where my dad was like, the man is the head. And he would control the thermostat in the house. My older siblings, y'all know I'm the baby and I'm a late baby. My siblings are several years older. They said, like in the 70s, when the afro was popping, for a long time, my sisters couldn't wear afros because my dad felt like only men could wear them. I mean, so I definitely feel I get the feels like, oh no, when I encounter this type of man. And so I feel like from her going from being raised by Wanda to marrying Marceau, she's never been able to be totally in her grown woman, because she had to run back to Marceau and say to him, "Okay, Martell tried to run up on me, and I came here because I did not have you, my protector, there." And it was still just giving like little girl. And we're going to see where Marceau talks to her like a dad again. I'm going to play the clip for y'all. So then we have this scene. So this is another scene that lets me know that production favors Martell, and they're also favoring Destiny. So because she is with the bull-ish. And so she's doing this to maintain her presence on the show for the money. But I'm guessing what's helping her must be her dad's social security and pension. That's helping her and the baby. So, in my opinion, I could be totally incorrect, but that is my guess. That is my estimation. So they decide to pretend fish in Stormy's pond. Destiny did post this weekend on her IG stories tagging Stormy, thanking her for letting them fish in her pond. I just heard and saw ducks. Okay, and the ducks in the water did remind me of Michigan State when I would walk to the library and see the ducks in the Red Cedar River, very beautiful. But I don't think there were any fish for them to fish. But who knows? I could be totally wrong about that. So I'm not an oceanographer or anything, but I feel like production gave Destiny this scene to try and recoup her image or better her image after the field day episode. They knew that the viewers were going to drag Destiny online for helping Martell totally embarrass and slut shame, sex shame Tisha during Destiny's field day event. So they gave her this scene to try and generate some empathy and some like from all of our hearts for her. Because during this scene, they talked about Destiny's childhood with her mom struggling with substance abuse. Unfortunately, Destiny spending a time in foster care to her dad getting full custody of her. And she had to move from Detroit to down south and they bumped heads in the beginning. It was quite a transition from Destiny. And normally, because that is a lot of trauma and a lot of redemption, the dad did go and get his child at some point. But because us viewers have experienced Destiny in all ways for several seasons at this point, we can call out a image scene when we see it. And that's what this is giving for me. So then we see where she's at the storage unit, and ugh, I just, ugh. When I think of Destiny, do y'all remember? And this program may still be in existence. It's called the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. My oldest sister Donna, she used to be involved in it, where you would mentor someone and take them to different experiences. And I feel like Destiny needs to be in the Big Sister Big Brother program. And I get it because I even posed the question when Destiny first showed the storage unit and she was saying, like, you can make it into a store. I posed the question if that's a thing in your neck of the woods where you live. And a few of you all did comment and say, yeah, where I live, people do kind of transform their storage units. Some nail techs do nails in the storage unit. But I just feel like Destiny seems so lost. And yeah, so anyway, her fake boyfriend, Lance, is in this scene. And that's according to Ariane. She said that Destiny told her that she really didn't like Lance like that. So she tore a page out of Martell and Sheree Whitfield's book to fake date. And she's asking him for some drywall and some shelving. So then I'm guessing in another scripted reality scene, Kimmy and Tisha were waiting in the hallway for production to point at them and say, okay, now you go, Kimmy. So then Kimmy walked in, hey, and hugged everyone. And when Destiny tells Kimmy that Lance is going to put up drywall, or I think Kimmy may have asked and Lance answered, Kimmy's like, you can put drywall in these things? Now, Kimmy, baby, you went off script. You went off script when you asked that. You did ask my question. It was on my mind. And Destiny's like, oh, yeah. You see those stores downstairs? They started off like this. That's what I was thinking, though. Like, it's not your house that you're living in. And it's not a house that, like, you own. It's a storage unit. But maybe, I could be mistaken. And then Tisha walks in. Hey! So it's just giving Kimmy and Tisha were standing in the hallway, or if this was a play, they were standing backstage and following their script when it was time for them to walk in. And then so Lance has to leave and get back to work. He hugs Destiny. And then Kimmy or Tisha was like, "What y'all be doing back here?" He's like, "Oh, this ain't enough room. We need more room for that." So his acting, out of all four people, his acting was the most convincing. So then the three of them, they are talking about mimosas with Melody. And Kimmy still hating on the Mimosas with Melody events like season one. And she first of all, she was calling it in the reverse. Melodies with mimosas. And they were like, "How was it?" And she was like, "It was full." Just say it was nice. It was cute. It was decorated. People were wearing pink, and the speakers, they gave a lot of helpful information. Just don't be a hater. It's just not very cute. So then they were talking about how Destiny is hosting Nell's bachelorette party. And Kimmy and Tisha, they were correcting her, saying, "Well, it's not really a bachelorette party because she is married." And Destiny didn't know how to respond or what to call it. It's a party. It's a party as if she's single, and they're gonna have strippers. Okay, fine. And they were saying, "Are you going to invite everyone, including Sunny?" And at first, Destiny said no, but they were saying, "You're the host. You have to let Nell make that decision." And we're going to circle back around to that a little bit later. And then they talked about Sunny being at Mimosas with Melody and saying that Sunny told the group that Moses was locked up for violating probation. A smirk did cross Destiny's face. And then she said that, she was sorry that this happened to him. In her confessional, Destiny had the nerve to say that, Sunny was at Mimosas with Melody and not Destiny because Melody is vengeful. Well, first of all, Destiny, Melody doesn't F with you, so she wouldn't invite you, but she Fs with Sunny. So she invited Sunny. It's that simple. That it's just some basic elementary math addition. 1 + 1 = 2. Very black and white, no gray areas. And that was that scene. Now, I will have to say, I feel like for this second half or these last few episodes, Tisha must have hired a stylist because I feel like her clothes, they fit her better and she looks more comfortable. So I definitely wanted to point that out. So then Melody has her sit down with Chris Fletcher. It was right outside of like a gourmet popcorn store. I thought that was really cool. It looked like it was Black owned. It had slightly more seasoned Black women in there, and they seemed very friendly and positive energy. I love that. Shout out to Chicago. They like Chicago is known for like Chicago style pizza and popcorn. And when I was a kid, um, Detroit had a popcorn store like that as well. It may still be open. I only have memories of back to my big sis Donna, her ex-husband, when they lived in Texas and whenever they would come home to Detroit, like Joe always had to go to that popcorn store. So those were memories that came to my mind during this scene. But in any event, so Chris arrives, and to me, his body language, he knows what it is. And he didn't really give her too much lip face to face, but he did in his confessional. So Melody asked him, she said, "I've been getting tea. And I was told that when you were at Martell's open house, Trisha said that, you connected her with Martell." And he was like, "That's a lie." And he tells Melody about his conversation with Martell on the phone. Martell asked if there were any cute girls in his gym. And Chris gave the name, and Martell looked it up, found Trisha, and that was that. And Melody goes, "Well, when I was still married to Martell, He told me to, get advice from the older married women, kind of like trying to get me to hear from other women to accept the cheating. And when I asked him if he had spoken to the older married men, he said yes, and that they told him not to get with anyone who doesn't have anything to lose and make her sign a contract. Did you tell him that? And Chris said no. And she said, okay. And, Melody said, well, I'm RSVPing to the vow renewal ceremony with you today. I hadn't done it yet, and I know that it was due 2 days ago, but I wanted to sit down and talk with you first. Chris Fletcher says in his confessional, so obviously the producer that sits in the confessional and poses the questions must have said, how did you feel when Melody said that she waited to RSVP until she spoke with you? Chris Fletcher said he thought that was bullshit. No, Chris, what's bullshit is the fact that you called yourself friends with Melody and Martell, and you and your wife love to use the word mentor. How fucked up it is to be a mentor, and you're telling a man who is still legally married that there are some cute girls at the gym, including your cousin Tisha. That's what's bullshit. And so he has a lot of fucking nerve. And I see why Melody blocked or unfollowed the Fletchers, because I wouldn't fuck with them either. I got pissed and triggered. So let me move on. So then we have the Ghetto Fabulous relaunch. Is definitely not at the former Madani brick and mortar, right? Because that's no longer. It was at some sort of venue that looked like it had a rooftop, and she had like the poster boards or for her body splashes and candles, her home fragrance line, and she had some of the bottles on display. And then she had her outfit. It was giving like Babs. And I feel like Destiny, she wants to be Diamond from the Players Club so bad. Shout out to Lisa Ray. But Destiny, Diamond made money. Diamond made money as a young adult. She was able to fund her college career, graduate from college, get a job as a TV broadcast journalist, and was making her own money, honey. So it's not diamond, it's cubic zirconia. Okay. So cubic zirconia, she gave her speech, and most of the cast was there, minus Melody and of course Sunny. And that was that. And so the men sat down at one table and ate. And, Ken tried to say, what's the big deal if I'm dating someone who's married? People, when they separate and they're still legally married, they do that. And, the men were saying, how do you get that involved, though, with someone and you live with them and you're involved with their kids and she's not divorced yet and it's been this long? Okay, whatever. And then the women sat down. And Nell, said, I guess it was brought back to her. It was brought back to her, about Destiny's feedback on Sunny attending her bachelorette party. And Nell said, I don't totally agree with the situation, but it's for me to get to know Sunny myself. And Destiny said, well, as the host of the party, I just got to do what I got to do. But it does make me test our relationship. Just, more scripted reality. And that was that. So then we have this scene, and I noticed this is why I think production totally helped Martell. I noticed, like I said before, the women sat and ate together, and then the men. Then the men get up, Marceau comes over to the women, and Tisha's like, oh, you're coming over here to sit with us, babe? And he's like, no, I came to get you. So then the two of them sit here, and then production shows Martell walking in their direction. So I'm like, oh, production totally just set up this scene. Martell gets what he wants. And that just seems so fucked up to me. That's why, but see, the Scots is kind of giving boomerang. This negative energy has boomerang back to y'all. And now here we are. So I want to play this clip. I want to play the audio. I want to say that this clip that's on Instagram, it conveniently leaves off Tisha asking Martell, why did Melody and I's friendship end? And Martell didn't answer because Tisha says, because you were feeding her information. Boom. Okay. So then it's going to pick up from there. So I am about to play this now for y'all. And here we go.
You feel that you don't care about your marriage. No, Martell, we don't care about your words. So feel free. For what? Because you think that you have something that can damage my marriage. Oh no, I don't care if it damage your marriage or not. Please try. Please try. I'm trying. I'm begging. It just I'll beg you time and time again. My thing is to hush. I'm not gonna hush. I'm not gonna tread lightly. You just let me know. Right. You let everybody know how slow your wife is, bro. There we go. You letting everybody know how slow she is, and you should be embarrassed. You should be embarrassed. You should be embarrassed. I know what he's trying to do. You are horrible for even putting your wife in this situation, bro. I know what he's trying to do. No, it's so sad that you even accepted him talking like this, Tisha. I know. This is so sad. He ain't saying nothing. He doesn't understand what inseparable is. Oh, it's okay. It's sad. I definitely say that. He said my wife is slow. He wish he had one like me. Every man wish he had one like you, Tisha. A man can do whatever they want to, and a woman would accept that. Then that's the Marcel thing. Unquitable. Hey, T, it's okay. I'm not gonna use questions on you. Hey, bravo. See you later, babe. Hey, that's great to have a good wife like that. I've been telling you just to chill out. Don't say nothing. I won't say. How'd that work out for you? You sound pathetic. No, you make your wife look pathetic. You make your wife look. No, I don't have one. Bro, it's okay. You know how Tisha does. I'm gonna go soon. It's okay. You can storm off, but guess what? I'm not gonna storm off. Guess what? Look, it's okay. I'm simply better than you. Understand that, bro. In every aspect of your life. Just because you got a wife that accept anything, in every and all that kind of stuff, though. In every aspect of your life. Okay, bro. Guess what? Enjoy. It's okay. The actual proof that Martell may feel inferior to me is the fact that he continues to try to compare himself to me. Martell once considered himself on top of the world. And since he failed, in his eyes, he looks up at me and wants to bring me down. And I think that comparison is what fuels a lot of his anger. To say, hey, I know I failed, but he should fall too. I try to keep whatever Marcel and I done in the past. So that was that clip. It is incredible, the projection and the manipulation that Martell tries to do to people. I think that Marceau, if there's some secrets and some receipts that Martell has, I think that Marceau is tired of being a slave to it. I think that he'd rather Martell expose him. Then Martell no longer has that leverage, no longer has that over him. And I feel like if there is a secret that the Scots are keeping, don't wait on this ninja to release it. Y'all spray yourselves with your own tea. I would take that power from him. Because Martell kind of talks to them like they are Nino Brown and they're that man. Remember in New Jack City when Nino Brown took over the Carter, he took over the apartment building that became their lab where they made, the coquiana, where they turned it into, CRACK. And they brought the owner of the apartment building out. He was butt naked. He must have been in the shower. Martell talks to Tisha and Marcel like he's pulling them out of the Carter butt naked and slapping them on their behind.
They need to stop letting him have that over them. Whatever it is, just talk about it. But see, Tisha, if there is a secret that they're keeping, Tisha thinks it's just going to totally break her. And you don't have to let anything break you, Tisha. And if you want to stay in your marriage, you forgave your husband, that is your right. You're an adult and this is America. I wouldn't be a slave to Martell LeVar Holt. I absolutely would not. A Negro who cannot pass an open book builder's exam, or I would not. I would not. Set yourself free. And so in this scene, Marceau was like talking her through it, saying, whatever he was whispering to her, it must have been, just don't say anything back, or, try not to cry. Whatever he was telling her, I don't know. Because she was like, I know, he ain't saying nothing, and that was like that little girl. And I think like Marceau likes that little girl in her, then he probably wants her to be a woman in the bedroom. But then in all the other rooms of the house, she's like a little girl doing her chores. And it's just exhausting to watch. And production totally likes, they're pimping Martell as well. They help Martell and they pimp Martell. Because Martell, if you would see, production helps you set up these scenes so that you can clown and you can act unhinged. They like it too. You are the train wreck. If you follow me on Instagram, on my IG stories, I was saying how Brittany from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, she is the train wreck I love to watch. Because she was at the airport cutting up, and I saw my IG stories. Martell is the LEMH train wreck that production loves to watch. They are pimping you, bro. And you are too dense in your thinking to even see it. What did you all think of this episode? I thank you all so much for watching this video. I always appreciate the support. Please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. And I hope that you all had a fantastic weekend. I saw Den of Thieves yesterday. So y'all, I got shoveled out, or, we say got digged out sometimes. And I went to the movies. I had to get out of the house. Den of Thieves was like so good. If you remember the first one, it's about professional robbers. They pull off heist, and it stars Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson Jr., and Gerard Butler. If you remember, Gerard Butler's been in a ton of movies. One of my favorites is Law Abiding Citizen. And he does those like the Secret Service protecting the president films. Olympus has fallen, Angel has fallen. And then they did another sequel, but they replaced the people, called White House Down. That was with the sexy, he stars in the Magic Mike movies, Tatum, White Boy Wasted, Channing Tatum. I had to rap the Meg Thee Stallion song. Okay, Channing Tatum. And he is engaged to the Black girl, Lisa Bonet, and Lenny Kravitz's daughter, Zoe Kravitz. But White House Down was Channing Tatum, and Jamie Foxx played the president. But Gerard Butler, he stars in a lot of good films. But Den of Thieves was so good. So it takes place not in the States. So it's, in a few different countries, mainly France, but there was also Italy. So the movie is like visually beautiful, just breathtaking. I was sitting there in the movies like, how do some people in their countries, how do they leave and move to the United States? Like if I lived in Italy, oh my gosh, I don't think I would want to leave it. Just so gorgeous. But it was really good. Definitely some action scenes. The robbery scenes were intense. Oh my gosh. Because they were moving like before the security cameras could update, then they would move, to get to the place where they were robbed. But it was like intense, it was action, good acting. So definitely check it out. And I can't remember if 50 Cent produced the first Den of Thieves. I told myself to look that up. But 50 Cent produced this Den of Thieves along with O'Shea Jackson and Gerard Butler. So I thought that was very interesting, but it was a very good movie. So definitely check that out. And I will talk with you all soon. Bye.